So can you tell us more about your organization, how it was founded and thought about and created, like just the history of it?
Right. Well, the Nation of Islam was began by a man by the name of Master Farah Muhammad, who traveled from what we are taught the holy city of Mecca in Arabia. And he came with a specific plan, which we say in accord with the scripture, to find a people that the Bible symbolically refers to as lost sheep. And he came and he found those people that fit that description was a black man and woman in America, descendants of Africans. And so when he saw our wretched condition, he began to start teaching. He started in Black Bottom, Detroit. They began to start teaching things that he felt that our community, our people missed specifically, which is knowledge of self and knowledge of God. And as a result of that, he met one of the most Elijah Muhammad, who began to start working, who raised and taught such greats as Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Imam Wardi Muhammad, and Minister Farrakhan. But there was a brother from New Orleans who was a trumpet player, and our research about him, his name is Emery X. He is, some people say that he was almost on the, they say he was basically on the level of a musician as Louis Armstrong. But he traveled to Chicago, found about Islam as taught by the most Elijah Muhammad, was so inspired that he wanted to give up music and return back to his birthplace of New Orleans and begin to start teaching. So that was like in the early 40s. So he began to start teaching Islam here in the city of New Orleans. And there's a brother who's still alive. He's known as Harold Baptiste. He's a well-known musician here in the city of New Orleans as well. He was one of the earlier members of the Nation of Islam, and he was inspired by the teachings of the Most High Elijah Muhammad so much, and his desire to see black people improve, that he, according to history books, he had one of the first black-owned record labels in America. Before Cash Money, before No Limit, it was a brother here in New Orleans. It was called ABO Records, so you can research that. And as a result of that, you know, since that time, we've had various ministers who have kept teaching Islam here in the city of New Orleans. We originally began in right around the Magnolia Projects, 4th and Magnolia, but now we're located at 4201 Diamond Road. And our aim is, we say the resurrection of the resurrection of the black man, woman here in America. And we say resurrection, we believe that our people are mentally and spiritually dead. And you still see it today. Anytime you can get someone with a PhD and someone with no degree to get on CNN and they arguing about black folks having the right to call each other nigger on an international TV news station. So that's our aims. And it's not that we are anti anybody else, but we understand that God doesn't help those who don't help themselves. So we understand it makes no sense for us to wait for something to fall out of the sky, come from under the ground, or some benevolent white person to come in and fix a problem, which most of the time their ancestors have created and they are contributing to. So our aim is the restoration and the reformation and resurrection of the black man and woman in America, and that starts by teaching them a knowledge of self and a knowledge of God.
Thank you. So with that being said, what are the 3 most important issues that you feel need to be addressed in the black community today?
Wow, the 3 most important. There's so many, but I will start here. There's an African proverb, I know Dr. Samori probably knows this one. He's always hitting with those African proverbs. It says, the ruining of a nation begins in the homes of his family. So I would say out of the many, that's one of the areas we have to start. I've shared this before. They did a study on African elephants. And they were wondering why these African elephants, the young male African elephants in particular, were stampeding villages. They were destroying people who were on these, what is called, Saharas or whatever, safaris. They even found where a group of young male elephants raped a rhino. And so they were trying to find out why is there so much aggression and anger in these elephants. Well, they studied the elephants, and they found out that elephants have a family structure closer to human beings, a mother, father, uncle, auntie, brothers and sisters. Well, Europeans were coming from Europe. Some of them were on their vacation, and they would kill an elephant just for the tusk. Or some of them would go and find some young African brother who needed money, and they will pay them to kill an elephant just for the tusk. And what they will do is, the older the elephants, the larger the tusks that they had, that they would make ivory out of. They would kill the mother or the father or uncle, and it would shatter the family. And as a result of that family being destroyed, it produced this rage in the young male elephants that sent them into this violent fit where they began to start attacking others and attacking human beings. So when I saw that and read about that study, I said, if that can happen in elephants as a result of their family being destroyed, what about black people?
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that one of the key things we have to do is structure our family. That's one of them. Because if we have it, there are all type of studies and research that shows how children are, they're more wholesome, they have a more healthy view of themselves when they come from a sound family, right? And that was one of the things the slave master broke up. So that's one. Second, I would say is getting knowledge of self, knowing who we are. Because when we know who we are, we know where we've come from. And a lot of times here with black people in America, we don't know who we are. Mm-hmm. And I always give this analogy. When you don't know who you are, there's three things to show you how it can impact you. One, you cannot know what your power is. When I was in high school cutting class one time, a teacher pulled me to the side, and myself and a friend, and he told me this story. He asked us about an eagle and a chicken. He said, do you know the difference between an eagle and a chicken? I said, yeah, chicken's what they serve at Popeye, right? Eagle's what you see in the zoo. But he was just saying, imagine an eagle that was taken from its nest and it never saw its mother or its father. But this eagle is raised on a chicken farm. It grows up with the chickens. It eats, it sleeps, it does everything with the chickens. If you had the opportunity to ask this eagle, are you an eagle or a chicken, what would it say?
Chicken.
Because there's an environment, right? Mm-hmm. Now, imagine if they came across this fence that they couldn't see the other side of. And the chickens would say, man, I sure wish I could fly over that high fence. And one chicken turns to another chicken, he says the same thing. Then they turn